Hello and welcome to, I don't know, part 2 or 3 of Danielle's random road trips around England. Today I am driving to South Yeo Farm West, Oakhampton, or near Oakhampton, not quite sure where it is, in search of insulation material for the beast, aka my truck. I thought we'd have a little insulation chit chat. I guess a lot of people will be wondering why I'm driving out to a farm, because I think when you talk about building insulation, you know, it conjures up images of those sort of Celotex boards or like Kingspan boards or something. Okay, so to sum up a huge amount of footage of me driving in my car and waffling, which I'm prone to doing, I just wanted to summarise what I said, which was that I am 100% against standard foam type insulation, particularly the board types, for environmental and ecological reasons, but also for health reasons. I'm not going to preach at anyone, you know, I know everyone has their own way of wanting to live their lives and stuff like that, but that's my personal choice, and I've made an informed decision that I'm going to try and keep my build as natural as I possibly can within the remits of my budget. I say that because there is no budget right now. You have to have money to have a budget, right? That is why I have chosen to insulate with sheep's wool. I will write more about why particularly sheep's wool on the blog. If you're interested, I'll somehow manage to find out how to put a link in the description-y thing, because I have personal experience working with wool in many different settings and it is my number one material. I love it so much. I could talk about it for hours. It's just, it's a magic material. Is literally what it is. It's a wonder material. It is everything you could want and more, and it's basically a byproduct or a waste product in a lot of situations. So epic ecological choice, epic choice for health, and that is why I'm going with it. And also it's a great choice for a building material because it has excellent properties there as well. I'll talk more about that when I ramble on later, but I just wanted to explain that because I think people will kind of think that I'm making the wrong choice, or I'm just doing it because I managed to find a cheap source or something, and that's absolutely not why I'm doing it. And a big part of this build for me is it's a very satisfying process for me, because I'm consistently horrified at what goes on in the modern world in terms of not just pollution, but in terms of people choosing to put money before health, basically. So I just wanted to chop in quickly and say that. Just the fire retardants I was talking about, the foam itself also releases VOCs into the air, and it's kind of, I think it's an issue anyway, but it's more of an issue in somewhere where you're living in a confined space. So certainly inside of the truck, it's you're living in very close proximity to whatever you've put in the walls. And yeah, I just decided that I wanted to keep it as low, I want to say low chemical. I have issues with people just going, chemicals are bad, because obviously being a chemistry student, everything is a chemical. Do you know what I mean? And it's, the more I understand about biological systems, the more complicated and muddy the water gets in terms of what has a harmful effect and what doesn't. In terms of where I stand with it, I will always be overcautious. I think it's better to be overcautious than undercautious. And I've designed my my ideas about how I'm going to do the truck with using that kind of insulation in mind. However, I have kind of had a bit of a wake-up call with costs recently. I have found a polyester product which has not been treated, and it's made out of recycled plastic, because you see the other thing with these foam boards and other types of standard, insulation is that they have a really high environmental cost, and that's quite important to me as well. The plastic, the polyester one, which is kind of like my backup plan, is recyclable and has already been recycled. In the blog I did mention that I'd looked into obviously the eco stuff that they sell in B&Q, but I couldn't find anywhere on the packaging how much wool it actually contained. I found somebody mentioning it in like an internet forum that said it was 50%, which is actually really low, and the product itself was quite expensive, and people on the on B&Q were saying like, oh, it sheds a lot, like what are these other fibres and stuff like that, and so I was a bit like, I don't really know if that's going to be what I'm looking for. Because I thought, well, could I somehow, I've seen videos on YouTube of people literally getting sheep fleece and stuffing it down in the walls, rather than it being in like roll form, and then like just stapling something to hold it all in place, or using a string. So I thought, well, actually maybe that would be an option for me. So I cast about and on Google, and I found this farm, which is not too far away, and she has about 30 fleeces from last year that she's willing to sell me. Now, I didn't realise, actually, it's one of those funny things where you always hear about farmers moaning about how, they sell their fleeces for like 30p a fleece and they're worthless and all this, but actually, and then you think, well, why is the insulation so expensive, But actually, when you look to buy fleece from a farm, the farms that do sell it to like spinners and people who make yarn, and so actually it can be in its own way quite expensive. It was not unusual from what I was looking at for it to be like £10 a fleece, which is a hell of a lot when you think about how much you would need to do something like what I want to do with it. So obviously that wasn't an affordable option for me either, but I contacted this woman anyway, and she said, well, look, I've got some, this amount, I think she said it was about 45 kilos of raw fleece from last year. I'll sell it to you, I'll sell the lot to you for 50 quid, which Richard has told me, because I can't do math, works out about £2 a fleece. Almost missed it. Here we go. I am legitimately so happy right now. Look at my car. It's beautiful. Like, it smells amazing. It's top quality, beautiful fleece, and there is so much of it. I've got 2 massive dumpies in the back of my car, and there are 2 more that I have to come back and get next Thursday. Guys, like, the universe provides. It's a happy, it's a good, even though the weather outside is absolutely, unbelievably horrific, today is a good day. So here we are. This is what I drove about 45 minutes for this morning. This is half of what I have just bought, simply because I didn't have room for the other 2 dumpies in my car, so I'm going back next week to get the other 2 bagfuls, but to be honest, I've got plenty enough to be cracking on here with at the moment. It's kind of hard, like I'm in the truck right now, because if you can kind of see the size, like that wall at the back is 6 feet high, so there's no way I could have fitted these in my house. They also, like, I like the smell, but they are smelling extremely sheepy, and also the bags are pretty dirty, and yeah, I like to keep my house kind of clean. So anyway, you can see, like, I'm so happy and so excited. This stuff has been sort of like roughly skirted already, which is kind of, it's not the main reason I bought it. As soon as I saw it, I could see the quality, but it just means that it's one extra thing that I don't have to do. You can kind of see up close, like, it's just the most beautiful wool. I cannot remember, it's a bunch of, obviously you can see here, like, we've got something different, and in the other dumpy bags there's like other stuff as well. I can't remember what breeds the lady has said they were, so I'll find out that later. But yeah, I mean, like, there is so much here. It's really difficult to like show you on camera, but it's a lot. And with the other two dumpies, I actually think that this may be enough to do the walls, like all the walls. It probably won't be enough to do the floor and the ceiling, or the roof, but I think maybe we can get the walls out of this, and I might not even have to cut it with polyester, which is what I was thinking about. I am just so stoked right now. Like, this is more than I could have imagined. Like, I really struggled when she said 45 kilos to like sort of visualize what 45 kilos of fleece would look like. But you know, this is, yeah, when the other two bags come, it will be over 30 fleeces. And I don't actually know the square footage of the truck, but it should be enough. I think it should be enough. But then again, I'm really bad at judging stuff, so we'll just have to like go along and see. I just think, like, I'm so happy that I've managed to find an affordable option, you know, for me, of something that I really wanted to do. And like, if you look through this stuff, like, it's really quite clean, you know. I mean, I may have different standards to another person, but for me, like, I've like processed fleece before, which has been in a much worse state, and like when you touch this, you can feel the lanolin, like you can feel that greasy kind of, again, like this is probably something that like is bad for some people, but I love that. I love that there's the natural oils are in the wool, and the smell, excuse my voice, I still got a bit of allergy, and that like wonderful sheepy smell is just incredible for me, because, you know, as long as I process it lightly and respect the qualities of the wool, and I'll make a different video on like what I'm all gonna do to make it ready to go in the walls. And there isn't actually that much I need to do because it is so clean. You know, the lanolin is naturally water repellent, and if you can maintain the wool without too much processing, it's naturally antibacterial and naturally antifungal, and it can hold a huge amount of moisture, and it has an excellent R value. So this really is, in terms of like ecological and kind of application potential, this is the best material that I could possibly find. And for me to find something like this for the price I paid, so for 4 of these dumpies cost me £50, and that will be enough, I think, to do at least a good portion of the walls. And that has saved me an astronomical amount of money on insulation, and even if I'd had enough money to buy the proper wool insulation, it wouldn't be pure wool, and it certainly wouldn't, it would be much more heavily processed than this stuff is. So really, really positive, good thing has happened for the truck today, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.